Hi, Oscar.
Hi, Norman. Hey.
Anyway, I do want to say that, listening and viewer discretion is advised for this podcast.
Okay. So, if you're watching this podcast, watch it alone and not with your parents.
Yes. Or watch it with your parents if you're into that sort of thing. I
I
mean,
mean,
if you want to be edgy like that, go ahead.
yeah.
This is an edgy podcast. We use bad words such as heck and crap,
Darn.
frick.
Darn it.
and
Crap.
yep. Or even such words as corn.
Lots and lots of corn.
Yes, which I like to watch. Anyway, so uh, today I got a couple of topics. First of all, I have a follow-up on square dancing.
Oh,
And,
square dancing. How did that go?
well, I have mixed feelings. And so I went to the class, and I was in the Navy, so marching is kind of in my blood, especially to keep rhythm, right?
Yes.
So I was kind of marching, or the caller took it as stomping and stuff. And I was following all of his directions, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
to a T and stuff. I wasn't like I was smiling, but I wasn't like laughing or giggling or anything like that. Nothing too out of the ordinary. I was maybe the only one that was kind of like stomping a little bit just to keep the rhythm. And he's like this like really old dude, and we're in a church and stuff, so he like a First Parish church, and you'll have to fill me in a little bit on that because I'm not familiar with First Parish anything, whatever
Right.
churches. So you're gonna have to fill. You're more of a Christian. You'll have to fill me in on that. But he sat there and let me put it this way, he was very passive aggressive and pretty much a dick. So he stopped me, and he told me, "You're not here to learn to dance. Go and sit down." And I'm like, "Excuse me, what?" Like he didn't ask me. He didn't ask me to like stop stomping or anything. He just immediately like I wonder if he was judging the way I was dressed because I'm a hippie, right? But he immediately was like, "Why don't you go and take a seat?" And I just looked at him and I was like, I'm I looked at him, I said, "I did everything. I've followed all of your directions. What did I do wrong?" And I wasn't the only one that said that. The entire class, including the instructor's wife, all said the same thing. What did he do wrong? And he assumed I was making fun of the square dancing. I wasn't. I was
No,
trying to have fun while learning, because I mean the point of dancing is to have fun. And
exactly.
he even made like a passive comment beforehand. He's like, "I see we got somebody putting on a little bit of a show here. That's not really how you walk and stuff. I've seen you walking that when you came in here. That's not how you walk." And I just was like, "Well, I'm dancing." In my head, I'm like, "I'm dancing." So, I, you know, this isn't walking, it's dancing. And he I he had a stick up his ass, let me put it that way. And everybody got pissed off, and they all actually had to take like 5 minutes. They all had to stop for about 5 minutes because I was fuming, you know. I almost left, but the
Right.
students were like, "No, no, 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 please stay, please stay." Like they were all just they all actually kind of there was a, and I gotta say, I'm on the fence about going back because there was a palpable tension in the room from that point forward. Like, I made it through the class and everything, and I did my best following directions. And whenever somebody messed up, this guy, again, he had like a stick up his ass. He would always make some sort of passive aggressive comment, and I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Are we partying like it's 1998 all over again? What is this?
Uh-huh.
Like, am I about to have a repeat of when I was 8 years old and I had to put up with this shit? Because I was about to flip the table over that he was sitting at.
Oh,
You know?
jeez.
Yeah, I got
Uh,
pissed, dude.
yeah, I would totally be, yeah, I would be in your shoes there too. I mean, there and he's not even the actual instructor now, is he?
He is the instructor.
He is?
He's the
Oh,
caller. Yeah,
okay.
he was the caller, so therefore the instructor and stuff. But like when the thing is, he's wasn't even in charge of the whole event. That's the thing. His wife is. She's the one that put it together and all that stuff. And even she was pissed off at him. Like, and everybody's like, "What did he do wrong?" I didn't have to sit down, but at that point, I wanted to because I needed to take a breath
Uh-huh.
and try to calm down because I was pissed. You know, like this motherfucker is trying to make me relive past trauma at this point. Like we're about to have a go.
I
Um,
think you should actually sit down with the instructor and the wife, tell them about the story from when you were back in
well, that's the
'98.
thing. That's the thing. I
You
actually
should.
did it afterwards.
Okay,
I
so
did. Like I started telling people about that after I sat down and stuff because they broke, like and they were taking a break and stuff. And I started telling people about it, and the people were like, "Oh shit, he's not fucking around." you know,
yeah,
like this is
you want to go there and actually learn how to
yeah.
square dance.
And for the record, I lost the rhythm when I had to switch to walking. I could not keep in step at all. I learned how to keep in step like with the beat of music by kind of at least slightly stomping my feet. That is how I dance.
Yeah.
It might seem kind of silly, but you're kind of in my eyes, you're kind of supposed to dance to the beat of the music. You don't just, you know, you don't just go
Flail,
crazy.
flail
This is,
around like a wacky waving playable on playing two man.
yeah. Wacky waving inflatable
Playable
arm
on playing
flailing
two,
two
two
man.
men.
And I'm passing the savings on to you.
Oh!
But yeah, I mean, the students saved it. Totally saved it.
Yeah.
Like that class would have been an absolute shit show had it not been for the students. I wish I could have had that kind of backup when I was growing up. I did not have that at all. I was 8, you
Right.
know? Like we were all fucking kids.
Yeah. Well, kids are stupid.
Yeah, and mean as fuck too because
Yeah.
like I real like it kind of goes even more personal. Like this really is sort of a big fuck you to my old teacher because I remember, I don't know if I mentioned this, but there were kids, right, that were stealing pencils from me so I couldn't actually do my schoolwork while I was in. And the teacher would get mad at me for losing my pencils. Like she would yell at me for losing my pencils and stuff. And I constantly
Fuck.
would lose them because people were stealing them, and then a bunch of them would just reappear, and then the students accused me of stealing them out of the blue, which made the teacher even more mad when she should have realized what was going on. Like
Yeah.
she thought I was playing a prank. I was not playing a fucking prank. Then she took it to my father, and that is exactly around the time that my father got way worse with me, and it
Ah.
continued on from because of all
Damn.
that shit, what that teacher and those students did, because of that, my life, my childhood, descended into a living hell for the rest of the time growing up.
Nah.
And so, and the square dancing, when she yelled at me every time I was at a step and then like embarrassed me in front of the class and stuff, that was kind of the final straw. So when that old man started to tell me to sit down and stuff, I was mad. Like I
Right.
started to yell. Like, what the fuck did I do wrong? I was about to flip the fucking table over,
No.
you
You
know?
know, I years ago, back when my
Mm-hmm.
back when My father was still alive and well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my my mom and dad signed up to do dancing, ballroom dancing classes,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and unfortunately, my dad's health was starting to creep up on him. Unfortunately,
It
so
was deteriorating a bit.
yeah, so he was losing a lot of breath and couldn't couldn't stay on his feet much longer, and so I had to step in because mom wanted
Mm-hmm.
to continue wanting to take this class.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up taking the class with mom and let's see, we did the four square waltz, line dancing, and and square and swing.
Swing. Okay.
Yes, and swing. I think there was one other too, which was I can't even think of it right now, but um, and yeah, it was quite quite fun though, but it was only a short length. You know, we only did it for one turn. One set session of it. So
Mm-hmm.
um, one season of it really, and
Uh-huh.
we never really went back to do it again because you know. But at this point, my mom and the instructor already had a bit of a complicated thing between them
Mm-hmm.
because she's also she was also the director of the church choir, and she was starting to take over everything
Mm-hmm.
and putting more and more things to do for my load onto my mom as far as accompanying and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and having her like accompany for everybody that wanted to do a solo for like cabaret night, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. And that was so she, yeah, after that she was done. My mom
Mm.
was done being around her, uh, because she was overworking her and she was not being paid for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But oh man, excuse me. Yeah. So, what, moving on to a little bit of a happier topic.
Happy
So,
topics.
yep. So, last night I decided to do something a little different in the gaming world. I'm almost ashamed of it. So last night I decided to download Castle in the Clouds. Castle in the Clouds is an X-rated hentai game.
Oh,
It's
okay.
also a Metroid clone, and it has no right being as good as it is.
Okay.
It has no right to be as good as it is. Like, you actually have to play this game with both hands, despite the sex scenes that happen in it.
Right.
Now, if I can find an image of the pause screen, we can like display it. Like that should be safe enough to display on the screen for the podcast. So if you can edit it, but I will show you what it looks like on this screen here if I can. Here's just the pause screen.
Right.
Now
Okay.
as you can see it's pretty milky. So yeah, you play as this chick named Lily, and you're a bounty hunter, and you're just trying to get by and stuff. And this game really has no right to be as good as it is. You can like customize the way you level up your character and stuff, and it's really good. Like you get upgrades, all that. It's the
Yeah.
gameplay's pretty neat. Um, it's nice to look at.
Well, of course it has to
You
be.
know, yeah. But no, I just kind of wanted to. I don't know. I mean, you're probably into hentai games, right? I mean,
A little
you
bit,
play this.
yes,
You've
yes,
edited The Sims.
yes. I do sim edits. Um, but yeah, I'm actually going back to a game that I actually play. It's a hentai game as well.
Yeah,
It's
this
an
is the first hentai game I've ever played, by the way. Castle in the Clouds, I recommend it, actually. It's really good. I've heard that the predecessor to it, I can't remember the name of it, but it's by the same developer, but the predecessor to this game is actually even better in terms of gameplay. So that's pretty neat.
right.
It's something succubus. So, if anybody listening is into that sort of thing. But yeah, I decided to try something new, and surprisingly, I was not disappointed.
Yeah,
So,
there's a
and oops, I ran into a monster. So now, as you can see, there's a lot of activity going on here
yeah.
because I ran into a monster. Uh, Now, when you run into a monster that has hearts above him, that's when you know that things are about to get interesting if you run into them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And then, like, afterwards,
As I could see it on that screen.
your lust stat goes up by one. Eh, And of course, they respawn, so you can do it as many times as you want
Yeah.
because video game.
Because
Yeah.
video games. Yep. Yes.
So,
So for the one that I actually kind of enjoy enjoy playing
mhm.
is actually uh Solus Solus City Heroes.
Soulless City Heroes.
Yes. It's
Okay.
it's made by Mr. Zed and
Mr. Zed.
Mr. Zed. Yes. And he did he did some other games, but Solus
Mhm.
City is probably the most fun one to do. He did like a maze runner dungeon crawler game,
Uh-huh.
and it has some balance issues when it comes to that game. You It's
Hmm.
not easy to get through, um, simply because the enemies continue to wake up after getting defeated.
Yeah.
And so, but Solus City is a side scroller beat 'em up sort of
Mhm.
game
Yeah, this is a
where you can
it's a
actually
2D
taunt.
side scroller.
Yeah,
So,
the and there is a taunt button, which is really your character like slapping their ass and giving them a tease so that they to lure them in to dominate them.
hey, don't mess with the softcore porn
Porn
star
star
with
with
the
a plastic
plastic
gun.
guns.
So,
um,
but yeah, it has a pretty good uh, creative characters screen as well. So male or
can
female.
you yeah, can you actually send me the name and developer of that game? Like text that to me?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
thanks.
Yeah,
Is it a game you can play like is it a game you sort of have to play two-handed or
yeah,
can
it's
you
and I recommend playing with the controller because it's not. It's not a traditional side scroller. It's like a
Uh-huh.
you go back and forth, the foreground to background situation.
Okay, so it's recommended play with two hands.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this game here, Castle in the Clouds, I recommend two hands. I mean, they have a gallery mode that you unlock and stuff. So, when you have more free time, you can just kind of relax
Mm-hmm.
and enjoy the gallery.
And then
It's just for reflection purposes.
and of course I have like hentai versus evil and hentai versus virus. I am waifu,
Well, yeah.
which are
That's bad.
just they're just silly shoot 'em up games basically,
Hmm.
and
I gotta say though, I really do like this game. I'm digging it. I don't know what happens when you get her. Is there a way to even max out her lust? Like, anyway, that's a topic for another time.
can you
This is a
actually
family-friendly stream. No, it isn't. It's not even a stream. It's a podcast. Excuse me, Oscar.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I gotta get another upgrade. I need to get ceiling climb or ceiling grapple in order to proceed further in this game. Hooray.
so I mentioned the last time that I found something on a Reddit thread called r/turn-ons.
Uh-huh.
And I think we'll call this segment Get Off or Turn Off.
Get off or turn off. Okay.
So here's the one. It the the user uh, posted this a year ago, but their account is deleted. But
Mm-hmm.
it said, I have this thing about girls destroying cars, especially a girl keying a car. I get off on thinking about a really hot girl keying my expensive car, then laughing in my face about it. I'm not sure what you call this, or anyone else has ever thought of this. Also, does anyone know of any movies or TV shows that show girls keying cars?
Oh my god. Wow. I
So,
I'm no, I don't know of any shows. I'm sorry.
no, I
I
don't
mean,
know either, but
you could you could always listen to that song like I dug my key into
into
the
the
side
side
of
of
his
this
pretty
pretty
little
little
souped up
four
four-wheel
wheel
drive.
drive.
Yeah. You can always listen to that fucking
I
song.
wonder if that's his
But
favorite song to listen to.
yeah, on, I honestly hate that fucking song.
I did
I
too.
it's like you just admitted to committing a crime.
Yeah,
You're an idiot.
exactly. You're an idiot.
And you carved your name into his leather seats, only further incriminating
Eliminating
you.
you.
You idiot.
Now, when I here's the thing. So, the destroying of cars. This is where I am mixed feelings. I like demo derbies. I like watching demo derbies.
Uh-huh.
Because those cars are deemed ready for the scrapyard already.
Okay.
What he's talking about is a really nice car. I don't know if he's thinking like he's driving like a Mercedes Benz or, a BMW or something like that. You know, but I'm thinking of an exotic import.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just like, dude, what is wrong with you?
There's a lot wrong with him.
I mean, I can understand like watching a girl destroy a car in a junkyard. Now that would be fun to see,
Honestly, yeah, that would
and
be kind of fun. I'm not saying I'd get off on it, but it would be fun to watch.
would be fun to watch and fun to do. Take
Mm-hmm.
out your aggressions and your anger on a piece of crap Ford, basically. You know.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and
But,
I mean, if you look at the way that cars are made nowadays and stuff, I even have had a hand a little bit in it because I used to work a blow mold machinery back when I was working at a company called Contitech
right.
or Continental, whichever you want to call it. So it's a factory job, and we had to make Ford blow mold parts,
Oh.
and the inspection process was absolute garbage. It made me not want to buy a car from this time period in this day and age. Like
Yeah.
especially like it was COVID was like it was still like 2021 I think, and COVID was still hot. It was
Right.
still huge at the time and stuff, and so they
Yeah.
had all these protocols and stuff. So we're all standing there. They cut the shifts down first of all from like 3 shifts to 2, so we're standing there for 12 hours instead of 8.
Uh,
Uh, so which I mean that's great and all. We're getting paid a fuck ton and stuff,
mm-hmm.
but the problem is we still had to wear our masks, and it didn't matter how close I shaved or anything before my shift. It didn't matter because I would start out with my face smooth and my hair would slowly be creeping in under the mask, and then it would get all scratchy underneath. Like that 5 o'clock shadow shit. You know what I'm saying? I would start to get that 5 o'clock shadow, and then it would be itching, and the mask would just be torn up
Uh,
because I have to talk and stuff too, and so it's not like I can just do that. Like I can't just keep my face still. I gotta like work and move around and
mm-hmm.
stuff. And you can only have the mask off when you eat, and that 30-minute lunch is precious.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
but back to my point though, like we're already kind of restricted on airflow when it comes to our breathing, so our give a fuckness level has dropped down even further. And then like we gotta sit there for like 12 hours with machines that don't even fucking work, and there's operators that don't even know what they're fucking doing and how to fix it. We have to constantly call the maintenance guy, so he's coming out the back all the time,
Yeah.
and he's just like, oh yeah, this is an easy fix, and then he fixes it only for it to fall apart about 10-15 minutes later, so he has to come back out, and they have to type some stuff out on the screen or whatever in order for us to get the machine going again. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
um it sucked. And
I,
then the parts that come out, they get inspected and stuff. The inspectors don't give a fuck. They did not care. They're like,
wow.
yep, this part's good. And it's like, that part is not good. I see that scratch right there. or or something's a little bit warped, but nope, it's good. It fits, I guess. You go to like, I remember I went through like 5. They had me put on assembly because they also didn't have enough people. So not only did I have to work the blow mold machine, but then they had to keep switching me out onto the assembly, which is another job entirely that was not even in my job description, but I had to do it. So I go over to assembly and I'm trying to fit this same part, and the guy is trying to tell me, yeah, don't worry, you can get it to fit. You just got to really get it on in there.
Yeah.
No, it just wasn't happening. Well, this part passed inspection. No, no, it fucking didn't. Tossed it. Like I just at that it got to a point where I was like, you know what? Fuck, dude.
Yeah. No.
Well, and then what made matters worse for me on the job too, in my case, was like I'm ADHD,
Uh huh.
so like I have times where I'm not always aware. It can be really hard to pay attention. They didn't quite get it, and I remember they thought I was doing it on purpose, like trying to get like a workman's comp. I wasn't. I didn't ask for anything, whatever, but I hit my head on one of the screens that was like hanging out, and it was like right there, and I hit it so hard that I ended up dropping onto the floor.
Oh shit.
And I had to like lay there for a second, like just to get my bearings before I could get up again. But that fucking hurt. And then the manager pulled me in, and I'm fucking my head's hurting and stuff, and I'm like, I'm gonna be okay and stuff. And he's like, well, I'm starting to believe you're probably doing it on purpose. Why would I hit my head on purpose? What is wrong with you? you know, it's not worth it. Like, that's my head. Last thing I want is a fucking headache.
Yeah.
It's bad enough. I mean, I'm
At
not saying that whole job was bad, but it did have its moments.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
At that
The
moment,
most, yeah,
yeah.
at that moment, I was actually pissed. Yeah.
Yeah. At that
But,
moment, I would have gone up to like somebody who like uh uh human resources and been like this the line instructor or whatever
mhm,
accused me of injuring myself on purpose.
pretty much, yeah. But I didn't
I
do that
Yeah,
because,
I would have
because,
done that because it would have covered you in the end, basically. Because then it'd be like,
yeah.
you
But
know,
that's not really what happened. But the thing is like, um, I I eventually it did get to a point I can't quite I think, and this is something totally not related to work. So they were not accused of anything and stuff. I think something happened with we had a very old couch at home, and because I sat on it a lot when I wasn't working and stuff, it ended up fucking up my back and especially my tailbone really fucking bad.
oh yeah,
And it's like to the point where I had trouble walking a lot, and so I couldn't go to work anymore. And I just called it. Like I was like, that's it. I cannot come in. I'm sorry, you know. So and it's like I wanted to. I would have kept going, but that's not how things went. And I'm kind of glad that I quit anyways because I wasn't. It wasn't a bad job, and I wasn't malcontent necessarily, but I wasn't happy either.
yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
It was just
Oh
kind of like okay job. It
yeah,
wasn't good, it wasn't bad. It had its moments.
yeah.
Uh,
One job that I had that I'm glad I quit on the second day was I was working as a flagger,
uh-huh.
and first day, the boss was actually at his post and actually checking up and making sure things were going well. And for
Mhm.
my first day, he actually did what a boss should do when they're running a flagging corporation is that, he has a lead and he has extra people at the ready to rotate so people can have their lunch break.
Mhm.
Second day, he did none of that. He was
Oh,
out. He was gone out of town. There was no extra people. It was just me and one other guy for the entire day.
huh.
And it was the dead of summer, which means it was 90 degrees or more.
Mhm.
And I couldn't eat I couldn't take a break to eat my lunch because I was standing with a stop sign in my hand
Mhm.
on the road. And you refused to pay me prevailing wage.
Ooh.
I was on a state road, and if I'm on a state road, they have to. Doesn't matter how many hours you've worked or how much
Mm-hmm.
experience you've had. If they put you on out on the road on a state road, you have to pay them prevailing wage.
Yeah.
And he refused to pay prevailing wage and
So you'd had enough, like, at
so
that point.
that second day, I just said I'm done. You know,
Yeah.
didn't even show up. I just waited for my check, because
All right.
and and of course, I had I sent a complaint to the business Better Business Bureau,
Mm-hmm.
and he lost his license.
Nice.
Yeah, there were a few other things that he did that they found out about him,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, they took away his flagger's lead license.
Mm-hmm.
But then he started right back up under his wife's name.
Oh, great.
So,
So I got a question for you. Actually, let's both. Was that the worst job you ever worked?
I think that was the worst job,
Okay. Would you mind if
because
I told a?
I was suffering heat stroke, or signs of heat stroke during that shift,
All right.
and
Wait.
complaining. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to hear? I don't know if you've heard it before, but would you like to hear my story about the worst job that I have ever worked?
Okay.
I worked at this job for a full year. I'm talking like exactly a year, 365 days, right? I
Right.
worked this job a full calendar year. I, okay, so Northwest Youth Corps ended, right? And you know what happened next? I moved to Alaska, Wasilla, Alaska.
Right.
And beautiful place, by the way. Love it. Mountains are great. Highly recommend visiting, especially during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I went close to winter, so I spent 2 winters in Alaska, basically. But anyway, shortly after arriving in Alaska, I got this gas station night shift job at a place called Tesoro, and I don't care about saying their name. This I don't care. This job fucking sucked, and I'm gonna tell you why. You know. So we had this old bat named Marty, who I believe she's dead now, and probably for the best because she was miserable, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, we had this old bat named Marty that was the manager of the store and stuff. And at some point, like things were kind of okay. Like she was a hard ass. She got on us, breathing down our necks constantly. We always had to be wiping a counter or something. You have to be doing something. It even got to a point where my roommate, who I was working with at the night shift, Dylan, he basically was like, Marty, I am not gonna wipe the same surface for the 20th fucking time. It's clean. You know?
Yeah.
Like he basically just about lost it on her. And at some point, it was like it started, I think, like during like maybe the spring or summer. The sewage line in the cooler broke.
Oh no.
So instead of
Oh.
okay, so there are two options. The option, uh, and I'm gonna give you like a guess, and I want you to see what I want you to tell me what Marty did. So option A, close the store, call a plumber, fix the problem. Or option B, don't close the store, allow some of the liquid to flow towards the front, and get the cashiers and stuff and the people working the store to try to clean it up.
It's
Which one
B.
do you think Marty picked?
It's
That is
B.
correct. That is absolutely 100% correct. We had to go in this shit and piss smelling cooler and try to mop it up. And our boots and like it was leaking towards the front of the store, and she still didn't close it. We had to clean this up, all this shit up. And our boots would like they smelled like piss and shit. We had to like when I went home, I had to like put them under the faucet
Yeah.
in order to rinse them off because they were dank, you know? Now now I want you to now she didn't call a plumber.
Ah.
Remember this. Guess how long this went for?
Mm, I'd say about a month.
No, longer. It went on for about 5 or 6 months on and off. The cooler would periodically flood with
Mm.
piss and shit. And she still refused to call the goddamn plumber. And then she kept riding our asses the entire time, making the job fucking miserable. It's night shift at a gas station in Alaska. The only people coming in around that time are fucked up tweakers. And I'm talking guys that have like red track marks all over their bodies. There's red scabs and stuff all over their bodies. It's fucked.
Yeah.
It is completely fucked. Like
Yeah.
they're on some shit up there. And Marty, that was the worst job I ever worked. Now let me add on to the fact I had another coworker that I was working with, and her and I got engaged, right?
Yeah.
So she came to live with me. You've heard this story. You remember this, right?
A little bit,
Nikki?
yes.
Yeah. So she fucking so I was living about 9 miles away from work at the time. Like I got a little place, a little cubby hole and stuff. It was nice and cozy. I even had a bike that I could ride to and from work.
Mm-hmm.
So it just got past the summer. I was getting a little more settled in and stuff. Like I had just got out of homeless for about a year at that point, you know,
Yeah.
out of being homeless. And I'm scared to death of being homeless again, especially in Alaska in the dead of winter. My bike fucking breaks, and I can't afford to fix it.
No.
Now here's the thing. My ex-fiance totally could have just easily driven me to and from work, and I would have paid her the gas. I was already paying her rent and all that stuff. I was giving her gifts. I was trying to be nice to her. She then proceeded to physically and verbally abuse me, as well as also steal my video game systems, so I couldn't even relax when I got home. Um, like I'm putting up with this. I even got, as a result of one of the walks to and from work, I even got frostbitten on my right ear, and it swelled up to twice its size.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
Tesoro understanding?
No.
No. Fuck no. Of course not. No. I still had to walk my fucking ass 9 miles back and forth. And this is why whenever I see a cashier job without a chair, especially with a disabled person who's working that cashier, like they have back problems or hip problems, and there's no fucking chair, like Walmart, for instance, I just want to lose it. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason why you can't have a cashier job without a fucking chair. There's no reason for it at all. We had no chairs. I had to. So I'm working. To put in perspective, I'm working 5 nights a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking 9 miles to work. That's 18 miles round trip. I'm doing this 5 times a week. 40 hours, working 40 hours and doing this 5 times a week. That's 90 miles of walking. How tired was I? And I had to
Yeah.
stand for 8 hours. I eventually got a knee injury, and the boss got angry at me. So, like, a message to anybody out there: if it's not in your fucking job, like, I was desperate because I just got out of homelessness and I was very naive. But to anybody listening out there, if you are, don't ever if it's not in your job description, don't fucking let people treat you like that.
Yeah,
Get them to call the goddamn plumber. Close the store.
yeah, yeah. It's just like um, the fact that yeah, you're dealing with yeah excrement and bodily fluids.
Yeah,
That
biohazard.
is hazard pay.
Mm-hmm.
That
We should have
requires
gotten.
hazmat. Yeah, that requires hazmat
We should have
suits.
gotten hazard.
Yeah, hazmat suits, gloves, boots, and hazard pay for
Mm-hmm.
cleaning up that. And sounds like he didn't. None of that.
No, no,
None of that.
no. We got no hazard pay out of it. Period. None.
Yeah.
Zero. Zip. Nada. We got
Yeah.
nothing out of it, and we busted our asses.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I recall.
I will never ever work a job like that again. Like
Yeah.
ever.
I recall a pickup place from back when I was actually doing pickups,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to this assisted living situation. They kind of had like individual houses basically,
Mm-hmm.
and and the house that we were cleaning out. I mean, for the most part, it was clean. For the most
Mm-hmm.
part, but there was
Yeah.
this dank, rotten smell
Ugh.
emanating from the bedroom.
Oh God.
We walk and we're cleaning out. We're getting the best stuff that you know that we can deem sellable.
Mm-hmm.
And we go into the bedroom to see what else we can get. And there is this mattress soaked in piss and shit.
Oh.
The guy must have been a very elderly and didn't lost control of of his bladder and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
and while sleeping or something. And yeah, they were like, "Yeah, aren't you going to take the mattress?" And we're like, we look at them, we say, "No, we're not taking the." We look at we look at the owner and we say, "No."
That is not in the job description.
First and foremost, we can only take things that we deem are sellable.
That is
We
not self.
no, we are not there to clean out trash. We are
Yeah.
there to pick out the good stuff and what we find deem acceptable. And they were really trying to push it. Like they were even offering to pay us to haul it away. I'm like, no, no. We would have to bag this mattress up, wrap it up, and come back with a. We would have to come back with a different truck, basically, or
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and wrap it up in plastic and wear gloves. But then we would, yeah, and again, hazard pay.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
I'll say this.
and I joked, and as we're driving away, and with with the driver, we were like, yeah, there was no way we were going to pick that up, even if we were on hazard pay.
Yeah, nah. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
all set.
there's been incidences where I've joked about we should be getting hazard pay for this.
By the way, you like how my leg is now conveniently positioned?
Shouldn't. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. You should have just taken that mattress, man. It would have been fun. You would have had a shitload of fun. Literally.
Yeah, yeah. But oh man, I remember there's one job, one cleanup thing that we did, and I don't know why they accepted doing this. Because
Mm.
again, it took so many people, so many people that volunteered to do this
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost, and they had to actually buy a a large dumpster for this job.
Uh-huh.
And this mobile home, it
Oh
should
boy.
have just been abandoned and condemned and torn down. It was bad. They tried to
So
clean. They tried to clean it up as much as they could, but
was
it
it
was
like a
just
slab or something or what?
no. It was full of termites and
Oh,
cockroaches. It was infested with bugs. There was black mold everywhere.
Je- Jesus Christ.
And these two
So
and this two and this couple were living in this. Everything had to be completely removed from that house. Everything. The bed, the chairs, uh,
wow.
counters had to be. Uh, I don't know why. It was just like, uh, yeah. We stopped to try to pick stuff up in the,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, there was nothing. There was nothing that we could take that could be resold. Nothing, because it was
Damn.
all infested with
God damn.
cockroaches. It was, yeah, there was nothing. It was, and so, yeah, I don't know why. I mean, yeah, the two elders were, uh, yeah, I just don't know.
The couple was elderly.
The couple was elderly, and
Okay.
yeah,
I was gonna say, because if they were young and stuff, I would probably be like, how are these people together? First off, that's what that would be actually be the first thing I would probably ask, especially if they were young.
yeah,
How are they together, and how did they let it get this bad?
yeah.
And why can't I have better luck? You know what I
Right.
mean? Because if they're together living in this squalor and stuff, and I currently am not living in squalor and my place is pretty much open, what what the hell am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Please tell me. All I see is darkness.
Yeah. I
Yeah, I think it's just some jobs are shit.
yeah, some yeah.
They're just shit.
Yeah.
And but that doesn't mean that you always got to do them. And unfortunately for me back then, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Now I do. The more you know.
The more you know.
Just like edit across the screen, the more you know star thing, reading rainbow.
I know. All right.
Well, I think I think we're pretty solid, right?
Yeah, I think we're solid.
All right. I know. All right, Oscar. Well, it's been good talking to you. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this podcast.
Good.
If you made it all the way through, then congrats. You're a nerd. No, no. I'm trying to be edgy and failing miserably. Am I cringy yet?
Right.
Am I
If you've
cringy
made it
yet?
to the end of
It's...
this podcast, comment nerd.
Yes. Nerd. All right.
All right.
So, don't work shit jobs. Enjoy hentai games, but not too much, I hope.
And
And
if a dance instructor yells at you for being happy, get back up.
yep. Get lots and lots of backup because trust me, I had the whole class behind me.
Yeah.
Including the instructor's
His wife.
wife. And now you know he fucked up.
Yeah,
You know he fucked up when he did that.
exactly.
All
And
right.
make sure to not wear pants.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. I'm not wearing pants either, but never mind. Don't look at me. I'm not decent. I am wearing pants. By the way, I noticed the shirt says no swimming
Swimming in bacon.
in bacon. Okay, that is funny as hell. Because it does look like he's swimming in bacon.
Yes. That'll be in the,
That's not. It's like that's not what water looks like. Water looks like this. That looks like bacon.
Yes. So next podcast, I'll talk about this shirt and what the history of it is.
uh, yeah. All right. I mean, yeah. Next podcast and stuff, and I'll probably
And
have even more topics to talk
yes.
about.
And maybe we'll find another r/turn on or something like that. Sex question.
Just end the podcast with that stupid song.
Ookie into the car, it's trailer souped up 4-wheel drive. Drive my key into his leather seats. Flash a car in all 4 times. Maybe next time you'll think before you cheat. Boy!
All right. I'll talk to you later, man. Boy.
Boy!
I dug my key into the side of his pretty little souped up 4-wheel drive.